The assistant U.S. Attorney, Wolf, tipped off Hunter Biden's lawyers. I'm sure Menendez says, why can't I get Hunter Biden treatment here? I would have cut all kinds of deals. I'll even plead to a gun violation. I don't even have a gun. Bob Menendez, I spoke at some length about this on Friday. I had my own special take on this, which was, and now a lot of other people honestly regurgitated it, which is, I'm no special pleader for this crook. He's obviously a crook. I mean, they go into his closet, and he's got hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash, and he's got gold bullion, and he's got, okay. Anyway, I'm very skeptical of prosecutors nonetheless, so they have to prove their case. But all that said, isn't it amazing the lengths to which they went to investigate this senator? Which is good. They went into safe deposit bank accounts or boxes. They had warrants. They had a warrant to go into his home, apparently a very broad warrant. This is where they find the cash, they find the gold bullion and the safe deposit box, and then we switch over to Hunter Biden. The IRS wanted to get access to some locker or whatever it was, some closet that Hunter Biden had to get access to documents. And what did the Department of Justice do in that case? You guys know? The assistant U.S. Attorney, Wolf, tipped off Hunter Biden's lawyers. I'm sure Menendez says, why can't I get Hunter Biden treatment here? I would have cut all kinds of deals. I'll even plead to a gun violation. I don't even have a gun. You see the difference? They weren't throwing search warrants at Hunter Biden for anything. And they don't even open an investigation about Joe Biden, who's selling out to Communist China and other enemy states and corporations, is far more serious than whatever this moronic senator did from New Jersey, who seems to have a problem living within his budget. But all that said, it's the same Department of Justice. Now, what else is interesting to me is you have one U.S. attorney in New Jersey. Everybody knows that when you appoint a U.S. attorney and you're a Democrat president and you have a Democrat Senate, you rely on recommendations from the Democrat senators. You have Cory Booker and Robert Menendez. So they're bringing the case in the Southern District of New York, even though most of the connections are in New Jersey. So you could make the argument that there's some connections in New York with some of the businessmen, but almost all of it's in New Jersey, including the senator, including his wife, including these safe deposit boxes. They're in New Jersey, but they brought the case in New York. Number one, because you have to assume they don't trust their own U.S. attorney. That, to me, is the main reason that they would bring the case in New York. Now, let's take a look at how CBS News reports on this and Guardian News. Go.
Tonight, New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez and his wife are facing new federal corruption charges.
And this just in, Governor Phil Murphy now calling for Senator Menendez to step down.
These 3 kilograms together are worth approximately $150,000.
The U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York showing what he says the FBI seized from the home of U.S. Senator Robert Menendez and his wife Nadine. Blocks of gold, the government says, 2 New Jersey businessmen, Wael Hanna and Fred Davies, bribed the couple with in exchange for favors.
They discovered approximately $500,000 of cash stuffed into envelopes and closets. Some of the cash was stuffed in the senator's jacket pockets. Some of the envelopes of cash contained Davies' fingerprints or Davies' DNA.
He's one of the businessmen who they're accusing of bribing the senator. Go ahead.
The cash laid out on Menendez's Senate jacket. The government also claiming between 2018 and 2022, Davies and another businessman, Jose Uribe, bribed the 69-year-old with a Mercedes-Benz, mortgage payments, and a no-show job for his wife. The government claiming Menendez, who chairs the Senate.
All right, hold on. No-show job for his wife. And Joe Biden's son, Burisma, millions of dollars. And Joe Biden's son, millions of dollars from the Communist Chinese. Joe Biden's family, over $30 million, up to $50 million, according to James Comer, $31 million according to Peter Schweitzer. Where'd all that money go? How many search warrants have been issued for the Biden family? Hunter, Jim Biden, the brother, the sister of Joe Biden, Honestly, the grandchildren, they all supposedly got money. How many search warrants have been issued to look into the Biden family? Not one. Not one. This is what I mean. This is so crazy. So if anything, the Menendez case shows us how corrupt Biden is and how corrupt the Department of Justice is, that they don't even have a special counsel investigating the guy. Go ahead.
Foreign Relations Committee improperly pressured a U.S. Department of Agriculture official to protect a deal between Hannah and the Egyptian government.
And you have, from the laptop, you have from the phone calls, myriads of information about Hunter Biden using his name to, you can say pressure, however, to influence government operations. Otherwise, they weren't going to pay this guy anything. You remember? They were concerned about an investigation going on with Burisma, so that was handled. They were concerned about a regulatory change that might harm one of his foreign clients, so that was changed. He didn't register for FAR as an agent. And then Daddy, of course, didn't know anything. He's in on scores of phone calls. His staff and Hunter's staff are constantly talking to each other. He's on 10 to 12 Air Force Two trips with Daddy to China and so forth and so on. The one oligarch that they decided not to put any requirements on or to harm was the wife of the former mayor of Moscow, who gave Hunter millions of dollars. And yet we have this Menendez case. Again, the guy's bad news. But how is it that the other guys skate? Go ahead.
Among other actions, Senator Menendez allegedly provided sensitive, non-public U.S. government information to Egyptian officials.
I don't know what that means, sensitive, non-government. Notice he didn't say classified, so I'm not sure what that means in particular, but go ahead.
And otherwise took steps to secretly aid the government of Egypt.
Senator Menendez in a statement calling the indictment a smear campaign, saying the government's misrepresenting congressional work and his wife's longstanding friendships. The son of Cuban immigrants adding in a statement, quote, "For years, forces behind the scenes have repeatedly attempted to silence my voice and dig my political..."
Now, without getting into all his self-serving statements, the fact is that Menendez was the leading opponent of the Obama-Iran deal among the Democrats in the Senate, one of just a few. The fact is he's not happy with the deal the Biden administration made with the $6 billion and the so-called swap of prisoners. And he's the chairman of this committee, of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. So he's been sort of a burr in their saddle, if you will, now for a couple of years. So I don't think Biden is all that upset that this guy's under the gun. Plus, Biden knows that he'll never be under the gun as long as he's president, as long as he controls the Department of Justice. Go ahead.
Even worse, they see me as a political obstacle in the way of their broader political agenda. Menendez claiming the forces, presumably in his own party, are after him because of his stance against dictators around the globe. Whether they be in Iran, he said, Cuba and Turkey or elsewhere, fighting against the forces of appeasement and standing with those who stand for freedom and democracy.
Let's stop a second. In this, he's telling the truth. They despise him in the Biden State Department, National Security Council, and Biden doesn't like him. So that's no excuse for, being a crook if you're a crook, and time will tell. But the truth is, this is true, what he's saying, that they do not like him for his positions on these various governments. And you got to wonder, if we're some liberal Democrat, if they give them a pass. For instance, Nancy Pelosi has been used her position as the Democrat leader and the speaker over and over again. People argue, as does Peter Schweitzer, who's examined this, to advantage her and her husband's investments. How many search warrants have been done in their homes? None. How about subpoenas, just short of a search warrant? None. How many criminal investigations have been opened up by the executive branch against Nancy Pelosi? None. So to me, there's something to this. Again, it's no defense if you're a crook, but he's right about saying what he's saying here. Even if he's using it as camouflage or a phony argument or whatever, he's right that they do not like him for these positions that he's taken. Everybody knows, on the Iran deals especially, that he was a thorn in the side of Obama. He's a thorn in the side of Biden on these issues. Go ahead.
I firmly believe that when all the facts are presented, not only will I be exonerated, but I still will be the New Jersey's senior senator. On Friday, the Southern District of New York brought charges against me. I understand how deeply concerning this can be. However, the allegations leveled against me are just that, allegations. For 30 years, I have withdrawn thousands of dollars in cash from my personal savings account, which I have kept for emergencies and because of the history of my family facing confiscation in Cuba. Now, this may seem old-fashioned, but these were monies drawn from my personal savings account based on the income that I have lawfully derived over those 30 years. All I humbly ask for in this moment, in my colleagues in Congress, the elected leaders and the advocates of New Jersey that I have worked with for years, as well as each person who calls New Jersey home, is to pause and allow for all the facts to be presented.
That's one crooked damn state, I can tell you that. And if what he says is true, and as far as I know, maybe it is, there's two things he's going to have to overcome, just off the top of my head. Number one, if they have the fingerprints and the DNA of some of these business guys on the cash, that doesn't sound like you've drawn it from your own accounts, but who knows? And number two, they'll be able to trace those accounts to see how much money he has taken out over the years and the source of that money. I suspect he made that statement with legal counsel reviewing everything, if not helping to draft it. So there is that too. You can have in your own mind what you think went on here, and maybe it actually did, because in your mind and your gut, my guess is you have pretty good instincts. But I've come to the point now that I need to see all the evidence, the due process, what exactly is going on here. Then when I can see what the prosecutors have said, which is available, then when I can see how defense specifically responds to it, then I have a better idea what the hell's going on.
For more, sign up for Levin TV.